What's good, YouTube? We are back, and today we're going to be talking about what the hell just happened in the NBA draft lottery. This lottery just shook up the league. I'm so serious. I'm not even exaggerating this. This just changed the entire landscape of the NBA. Not just in particular the Dallas Mavericks pick, but the entire top four of the draft is an absolute shocker. We're going to delve into it. We're going to talk about the futures of these teams, what's next, and how this just changed the entire landscape of the league. First things first. Did the Mavs actually win the Luka trade? Because hold on, let me just tell you the starting lineup real quick. Kyrie's probably gonna miss a good portion of the season, but let's say he gets back around like the halfway point. A healthy Kyrie, Max Christie, Klay Thompson, Cooper Flagg, and Anthony Davis. And you cannot tell me that with a little bit of retooling, they couldn't win a championship. But wait. On the bench, you still have PJ Washington, Derek Lively, and Daniel Gafford. The Mavs are scary. The Mavs are legit contenders. Once everybody on this team is healthy, there's an entirely large chance. It's entirely possible that this season of the Dallas Mavericks that's upcoming might actually be a championship year. And if not, the Dallas Mavericks have extended the window from what seemed like just 3 years to a 15-year window again, just like how it was with Luka Doncic. The draft class feels rigged, bro. It feels rigged. It feels like, okay, let's just talk about it, right? There was a 1.8% chance that the Mavericks were actually able to get the number one pick and win the lottery. The Spurs had a 6.3 chance. They ended up with the 2. Mavs ended up with the 1. And between the Chicago Bulls, which had the same record as the Dallas Mavericks, there was a coin toss. Because it was the same record on the coin toss and head-to-head against each other. It was the same record. So they had to do a coin toss to see who's going to get the 1.8 and who's going to get the 1.7. And Dallas won the coin toss. And by that, one coin toss, Cooper Flagg is a Dallas Maverick and no longer eligible or able. Bro, the Bulls fell all the way down to fucking 12. This is insane, man. This is insane. It literally feels scripted. I mean, think about it, bro. You had all these conspiracy theories going on about the league and how there's a potential move for the Mavericks to go to Vegas and how the owner, casino family, they want to move to Vegas. So, man, it's really starting to tell. It's really starting to tell. You even saw LeBron tweet about it. So I just posted hella laughing emojis a few days ago on the podcast. He was talking about how it doesn't make sense how he was able to go to Cleveland. And it's something sketchy. And it's always been sketchy because we don't actually see the process of the lottery being picked like how we did before. Ever since David Stern did that bullshit for the Knicks to get Patrick Ewing, y'all got to read into that if you haven't already. But ever since that, they don't broadcast the actual lottery itself, and it actually genuinely does feel rigged. Because think about it, this ties in back to the Luka Doncic story. It continues it as if like there was not even more layers to uncover, as if it wasn't already deep enough with this rabbit hole. The Mavericks are gonna get Cooper Flagg with a 1.8 chance. This is crazy, dude. Nico Harrison. Knowing Nico, he still might actually trade this fucking pick just to go get Kevin Durant. This guy is out here. He's probably going to pick Ace Bailey up in this class because he probably provides more defensive identity. Or some dumb shit Nico Harrison would say. It actually genuinely feels rigged. And a big reason why I'm so scared of this taking place, but I was hoping that Cooper Flagg ends up in the East. I wanted him to go to Washington. I was rooting for Washington to get him. If not, I wanted him to go to the Hornets or the Sixers. The last 2 teams I would want to see Cooper Flagg on is the Spurs and the Mavericks, and that's the top 2. I'm a Rockets fan, okay? And the West just keeps getting scarier and scarier. It's like okay, now let's look at the Spurs perspective, right? Fox, Castle, Vassell, or Sohan, and then you have Ace Bailey and Wemby. Or they could trade for Giannis. Because now the Rockets and other teams that were in contention to try to get Giannis, it potentially shakes up everything. Because guess what? The Spurs, who are already front runners, are immediately at the top of the totem pole to trade for Giannis, and that would be scary, bro. Regardless of what happens, the Spurs should be happy. They're set up. The Mavericks should be happy. They're set up, and things are getting scary out west. But if you're a Dallas Mavericks fan, if you're a Dallas sports fan, I'm just happy for you, man. I'm happy for you because what it seemed like was a dark ages incoming for Dallas, and how this was just going to become a poverty franchise. You went from one generational superstar to another potential generational talent in Cooper Flag. And your championship window just extended from Nico Harrison's dumbass 3 years back to 15 years. And honestly, man, I'm just happy for Dallas Mavericks fans because you guys should be rejoicing. Y'all deserve this after that terrible, terrible trade that took place. But now we can't even consider that to be like a terrible trade, really, because at the end, you always have to look at trades. Like, retrospect is 2020. And if you look at it retrospectively, Dallas traded Luka and got Cooper Flag. And now they have a championship core. They have a championship core we could legitimately contend for the next few years. And if they don't win a championship, it's fine. You still have Cooper Flag. You still have Cooper Flag. And, man, this sucks, dude. Cooper Flags went from dueling with Houston in the March Madness tournament to dueling with Houston in the NBA, man. This is messed up. This guy's going to become a mortal enemy. But, man, Nico Harrison, he might still actually do this trade for KD, bro. It's just like the decisions Nico Harrison did to cause the Mavericks to miss the playoffs ultimately led to the generational star. This is what the cat said. This is what movies is made of. The Philadelphia 76ers also find themselves in a great position in this draft class because they have Jared McCain. They have Joel Embiid. They still have Tyrese Maxey. Even as Paul George is PG-13% now, it's fine because you're still going to be able to get a player in this draft, potentially VJ Edgecombe, potentially Ace Bailey, depending on how the order of the draft falls. But regardless, you're going to get a great star talent. This draft class isn't like last year's. We had freaking Zachary Ricochet being the first overall pick, bro. This draft class is stacked. And any of the top 4 guys in this year's entire class would have been highly touted prospects. Potentially number 1 overall is in last year's class, which was historically bad. This is a great reset, not only for the Mavericks, but on top of that, for the Spurs and the Philadelphia 76ers, because they all have more direction. Because those teams, especially the Mavericks and the Sixers, had no sense of where they want to go, and now the Sixers can just go back. They're still a good team. The Dallas Mavericks, they could have asked for a better fucking result, bro. I'm pissed off, dude. I'm genuinely pissed off. And then for the Spurs to have so much leeway in whether they want to win now and try to get a player like Giannis Antetokounmpo, or if they want to get another guy, young player, who can develop with Wemby and Stephon Castle to eventually have this dynasty, which I personally would do if I was in the Spurs' shoes. I wouldn't trade for Giannis. I would get these young guys, develop them, and build another, because that's the Spurs' way of doing it. They don't trade for stars. They don't get these big free agents. They get them from the draft. They build with them. They work with them, and they get them to be these great generational players and become dynasties over time, which I think the Spurs should be trying to go in that direction. But, man, overall, this was a crazy, insane NBA lottery. I don't think the outcome couldn't have been crazier than this. Nico Harrison and the Dallas Mavericks get bailed out. The storyline continues between Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks with the acquisition of Cooper Flag, because we know Cooper Flag is going to go number 1 overall. But if you're still here, I appreciate you. Let me know in the comments down below. What's your opinion about this draft? And how do you think things are going to shake up? Who should be training for Giannis? What should the Spurs do in this situation? And what do you think about the Mavericks? What's their ultimate ceiling headed into next year? But other than that, like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to catch you on the next one. Take care.